IFBB can subject everyone to year-round drug tests that would greatly reduce these deaths. No, it would not. If you guys actually expect quality drug testing to catch people who are using, that Olympia stage is going to be a barren wasteland. Have you guys ever watched a legit natural bodybuilding show? No, you haven't, because they freaking suck. Chest up, shoulders back. Welcome to Revival Fitness, everybody, your home for gains and brains. And you've probably seen by now, guys, we had yet another death in professional bodybuilding. This time it was 2018 Mr. O, Shawn Rhoden. And unfortunately, guys, we're at the point now where this is not even surprising. Like, I woke up today, opened up YouTube, first thing I see is the more plates, more dates video, rip Shawn Rhoden. It's like watching dominoes fall. Really, it's kind of ridiculous at this point. And I mean no disrespect by that, but what I want to talk about today is the sheer amount of delusion and also virtue signaling that never ceases to stop when these deaths inevitably happen. And we've seen a high concentration of this lately, and I want to talk about a few comments I saw on this video, and also in general. It's not just like it's only on this one video, but the fact that so many bodybuilding fans and supporters and kind of people involved in the fitness space, they still are totally detached from reality when it comes to what's actually going on in this subculture. Because professional bodybuilding at this level, especially at the men's open level, it is not related to health or fitness in any capacity, guys. I've told you guys before, I'm going to work on a full video coming up about health and fitness, those terms, how they've been totally skewed for marketing purposes. But bodybuilding at this level has nothing to do with health, guys. Sure, bodybuilders eat healthy for the most part, and they exercise. But aside from that, there's nothing healthy about this activity. It is essentially a death wish at the highest level. And the interesting thing too is the fact that there were many big bodybuilders when it was even more popular back in like the 80s, 90s, 2000s, things like that. And as far as I know, those bodybuilders were not dropping as rapidly or as young as the competitors today. So the question would then become, why are the competitors nowadays dropping at such high rates and at these younger ages? And the answer to that, simply put, is the standard set by bodybuilding itself. And that's what's going to lead us into the first comment here. This comment was left by Joe Lindner, also known as Joe Stetics. I'm sure you guys have seen him on social media. And this is a very typical pro bodybuilder death response. The IFBB need to step in and do something. They need to start spending money on the health of their athletes. Look at other sports. I don't know if you realize this, but there is nothing the IFBB can do. They're between a rock and a hard place here, and I am not dissolving responsibility of the IFBB or other bodybuilding federations, because the standards they've set out are exactly why these guys have so many health issues. They not only promote, but they reward in competition these unattainable physiques. And when I say unattainable, they're obviously attainable for a short period of time, right? But as we've seen with a lot of these recent deaths, these physiques are a ticking time bomb. If you're going to get this big and this lean simultaneously and do so over and over for years, you're essentially asking for trouble. Because we saw George Peterson go recently too. What was he known for? His conditioning. And I put that term in quotes, guys, because in the bodybuilding world, conditioning essentially just means how low your body fat percentage is. When you talk about actual sports, because Joe's comment talks about other athletes and other sports, guys, bodybuilding is not a sport. It is a competitive, essentially beauty pageant. That's really what it is. It's a showcase of physiques. There is nothing athletic about bodybuilding, guys. You guys really think any competitive bodybuilder at any level could go onto a playing field and perform at 5% body fat on 1,800 calories and tons of diuretics? And the judging criteria for bodybuilding, like I've said this before, it's totally subjective. There are no actual rules in bodybuilding besides maybe you have to hit these poses. But other than that, it's a total free-for-all, guys. The judges could wake up tomorrow and decide obesity is the new bodybuilding standard. Now, is that likely? No. But think about it. They could technically say, we want people who are overweight to win the show. That's all it is. It's a panel of judges. There's no touchdowns. There's no time. There's no out of bounds. You know what I mean? It's literally just look at this person and decide who looks best in this lineup of people. But this is precisely why the IFBB in bodybuilding is screwed here. Do you guys really believe you can go from looking like a normal person to looking like this, to looking like he looked when he won the Olympia naturally? Do you really think you can look like that on even moderate doses of PEDs? If you actually believe that, you're delusional. You have no idea what's going on here, guys. These federations and these competitions have rewarded the most extreme of the extreme. They want these guys massive and simultaneously carved out of granite at the same time. And that's why all of these health problems keep coming up and why they're not going to go away. The average professional bodybuilder, at least at the open level, they're essentially obese with muscle. You can make the argument, guys, that professional bodybuilding at the heavyweight level is as unhealthy or even more unhealthy than simply being morbidly obese with body fat. Because these guys are morbidly obese BMI-wise, but they're also 5% body fat. So your body is being hit with excessive amounts of weight to carry, whether it's muscle or fat, it's still excessive amounts of weight. They have to take other hormones to counteract the hormones they're already taking at extreme doses. They have to take diuretics to maintain the extremely shredded look. They're eating minuscule numbers of calories leading up to showtime compared to what their body size is. You see what I mean? There's all these factors that come into it, and then these people want to be surprised when there's health problems. But that's what we've come to expect. And bodybuilding fans, I'm not trying to take a shot here, but people like Nick Strength and Power do this all the time, right? One video they'll talk about, oh man, these athletes are under so much stress, the health is bad, we have to help them, the federations need to change things. The very next video, he'll say things like, oh, their conditioning is so bad. Oh, this guy's looking bloated on stage, he's not lean enough. These guys are like 5-6% body fat, and all these bodybuilding fans talk about them like, man, he's not conditioned enough. Guys, if you want the extreme conditioning and the size at the same time, people are gonna die. There's no escape from this, dude. The genetically blessed people who respond very well to hormones, they might get away with it forever and retire and live a happy life, but evidently a lot of them can't do that. So if you are a bodybuilding fan and you claim to be about, I care about the health of the competitors and I want them to be healthy, but you want to push this extreme conditioning and all this stuff, you're a hypocrite. And I'm a bodybuilding fan too, guys, I get it. I don't pretend to care about the health of the competitors. I don't. You take the risk, you know the risk going into it. If they want these deaths and all this bad publicity to stop, the only way to incentivize that is to start rewarding more so-called attainable physiques that don't take as much diuretics and PEDs to maintain. Because as long as they're rewarding the extreme competitors, people are going to go to the lengths needed to look extreme. It's that simple. And that leads into the second delusional comment here. This guy says, heart attack. I bet everything it is drug related, more than likely. IFBB can subject everyone to year-round drug tests that would greatly reduce these deaths. No, it would not. The only way to reduce this problem is to incentivize the competitors not to go to such extreme lengths. Drug tests, guys, aren't going to do anything. First of all, drug tests don't even prove anything. Anybody can beat a drug test if they know it's coming. There's dozens of ways, guys, to get around drug tests. You can taper off your dosage, you can get urine from somebody else. There's a million ways to pass a drug test if you know it's coming. That doesn't prove anything. But let's assume the drug testing thing does work. Okay, let's say they get drug tested, all these guys fail. Oh my God, they're all on so many steroids, right? If that's the case, guess what? Bodybuilding's not going to exist anymore. Do you guys really want to watch a bunch of legitimately drug-free bodybuilders or even guys on like TRT doses compete? Nobody's gonna watch that. Have you guys ever watched a legit natural bodybuilding show? No, you haven't, because they freaking suck. They're boring. Nobody wants to watch that. It's underwhelming. I'm talking legit naturals, not these guys like you know, Mike Thurston or whatever, Matt Does Fitness, who go on 1,000 MIGs for 5 years, then they start doing TRT, and they're like, oh, I'm totally natural. I'm talking legit natural guys. They look like skeletons on stage. You can barely see them on the stage, guys. It's incredibly underwhelming. It's not going to get audiences. It's not going to get clicks. It's not going to sell. It's a dead end. If you guys actually expect quality drug testing to catch people who are using, that Olympia stage is going to be a barren wasteland, guys. Nobody's going to be on it, from bikini all the way up to men's open. Like, dude, these fanboys in bodybuilding are so clueless. They really think that just because these guys sit down and say, oh, I'm totally natty, or, oh, I only take doctor-prescribed test. I show the clip all the time, guys, of Ronnie Coleman on Joe Rogan saying, oh, I only took a little test, D-ball, basic stuff.
I mean, basic. You know, you got tests, D-ball. It's just basic stuff.
If you guys actually believe Ronnie Coleman got to this size, taking only some test and D-ball, I gotta sell you a timeshare, dude, because you're a freaking idiot. You are gullible as crap, dude. Like, you're dangerously naive if you actually think that. If you guys think there is anybody standing on the men's open, even lesser divisions, less big divisions, if you think there's anybody standing on that stage at the Olympia or any other IFBB Pro event, only on TRT levels, only on tiny levels of stuff, you're out of your mind, dude. You are absolutely detached from reality. This is a typical generic bodybuilding death comment too. It'll say something like, hands up, prayer emoji. Make sure to get your blood work and take precautions, guys. Get blood work. Once again, guys, you really think getting blood work is gonna fix this? First of all, you don't think they get their blood work done regularly. Any smart competitor is getting blood work done on a regular basis, okay? The other thing too, guys, we're talking high-level competitive bodybuilding. You really think a little negative biomarker is gonna stop them? All this effort, all this dedication, all this consistency and training and diet, all this stuff they've put into this goal of theirs. But then, oh, my estradiol's a little bit high. Oh, my blood pressure's a little bit high. I better just quit. You really think they're gonna stop then? After all that effort put into it? It's delusional. You guys are delusional. Oh, make sure you get blood work. Make sure these guys are under the care of doctors. You guys think these competitors take their doctor's advice? I know they say they do. Oh, I talked to my doctor, my blood work is fine. You think they're being honest? Do you think it's possible to have totally healthy blood work at the amount of stuff these guys are taking? You guys are delusional! And that's going to lead us into the final comment here. And this is actually going to kind of take a turn because I know there's going to be a lot of virtue signaling natties now, like applauding, like, that's right, brother. These PED juice heads are pieces of garbage. They're terrible people. No, they're not, guys. Here's this comment that also pisses me off. This guy says, gear use makes you die early. Don't believe the hype. FPEDs, they have no benefit to your health. This is typical virtue signaling natty, right? Never take them unless you want to suffer worse mental constitution, more cancer, and destroyed joints. So again, guys, these type of things require nuance, which is a lost art, especially on the internet. But PEDs alone, guys, are not the enemy. The poison's in the dose and the sheer quantity. Like I just said, these competitors are on a dozen or more compounds. You guys can look up a channel. His name is Vigorous Steve. I think he's a competitive bodybuilder, I'm not sure. He has a very solid physique, right? Nothing IFBB Pro Men's Open level, but he's in very good shape, obviously. He's admitted to taking like a dozen or more compounds, and he looks like this. Again, no disrespect to him. If he's on a dozen compounds, guys, what do you think these guys are on? Again, you all are out of touch with reality. You guys, again, you really think, oh, he took a little bit of testosterone and got all these side effects, or he took a little D-ball pre-workout and now he has a heart attack. Guys, they're on copious amounts of things for long periods of time at excessive dosages. But then these virtue signaling natties come on here. Don't you dare ever take any steroids. They will ruin your life. Really, dude? Really? Middle-aged men who've got on TRT and their life improved drastically? Oh, never take anything. Really? TRT is gonna kill you, dude? A little recreational use. Guys, a little recreational use or TRT or something like that, you more than likely are gonna be totally fine with that, assuming you don't have a severe reaction to it. Again, we're talking about extremes here. These virtue signaling natties always come in, well, all we have to do is just never take them ever again, and the problem will be solved. Again, that's also delusional, to assume that everybody's gonna just stop taking them. Guys, this stuff is everywhere. A lot of you guys might not realize this. I live in LA, in the heart of the entertainment industry. I know this for a fact. There are tons of actors, rappers, stars, people that barely even lift. They're still on steroids to look better in photos and in promotional videos and stuff. Oh, but never take anything. No, they're totally fine, dude. You might have to, go on some stuff if you come off, PCT, whatever. But for the most part, guys, most low-dose compounds or moderate-dose stuff, TRT, that type of thing, that's really not the enemy, guys. I know the virtue signaling natties have to always thump their chest. Never take anything, never, You're just scared of needles, dude. We're talking about extremes here. When you take extreme doses, dozens of compounds, tons of stuff, extreme diet restriction year after year, yeah, that becomes the problem. Also consider, right, HGH, insulin, these guys have internal organ growth. All this stuff is going on. But then you have a guy who's in his 40s on TRT. Oh, you're gonna get cancer, bro. Give me a break, man. So you can't get a legit discussion about this no matter where you turn. I'm trying to fix that with this channel, guys, because I'm just sick of all of this stupidity on both sides. There's no nuance, there's no legit discussions. It's just wishful thinking, and none of it's realistic. But ultimately, if we want this problem to be solved, and it's really the IFBB's problem to solve in the whole kind of industry, you simply have to incentivize more realistic looking physiques. But is that going to lose them money? More than likely, yes. So it's not going to happen. And I'm running out of time now, guys, but this has been it. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me what you want to see next down below, and I will catch you next time.